Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, as you can see today we're here in Masjid al-Huda, or what was known as Masjid al-Huda. As you're aware, the Masjid has been closed for about 5 years now. For those of you that do not know, the Masjid was built in the late 90s and it has always been a hub and a beacon for the community, and it has been, or it always has been, at the heart of East London. It always has been at the heart of East London. This Masjid wasn't a place for prayer only. Like it was a place in which people came to, in which the youth found as a safe haven. It was a place in which they used to learn different sciences from the science of Al-Islam. There were different madaris or madrasas that used to go on. There were constant weekly lessons and reminders taking place. The youth were many, sometimes counting, sometimes reaching the number of 50 or 60 young people. So the masjid has always been a place that caters for the needs of the young people, specifically more so. Out of these young people, walillahi alhamd, many of them have gone on to Islamic universities and different institutions all across the globe, and sadly many of those have fallen through the net. Many of those have fallen into things that are obviously things that they should not have gone into, like in things that happen in the society that we're living in. And all of that is because there was no masjid, and that they have lost that safe haven that they had in the masjid. Now the masjid, walillah alhamd, now obviously as you can see the building has already started. We're now towards the end of the first phase. And the end of the first phase runs out or ends roughly on the 29th of October 2021. So from now until this date we've got about 6 months. After which point we're going to go into the second phase. So the first phase consists of the skeleton framework, in which the structure of the building up until the 5th floor, the structures will be built. And then after that, inshallah, we'll go into the second phase and the third phase and the fourth phase, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. However, as for now, what we need is to complete the first phase. And that will be done by paying or being able to provide the money that is required for us to get this work and get this masjid, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to go back to how it was and the position that it once held within the community. So the amount that we need roughly now to complete the first phase, i.e. within 6 months, is 2.3 million. I want to share a hadith with you in which the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man bana lillahi masjidan, bana Allahu lahu baytan fil jannah." Allah Jalla wa Ala, or the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in this hadith that whoever builds a masjid for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Jalla wa Ala will build a house for him in Jannah. Now it doesn't necessarily mean a person who builds a masjid on their own, lakin the person who takes part in building the masjid, the person who's fundraising for the masjid, the person who's working night and day tirelessly for the masjid to be built, that person inshallah will come under this hadith in which the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that a house will be built for him in Jannah. Also another hadith that I'd like to share with you is the hadith which the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ma naqasat sadaqatun min malin," that if a person pays sadaqah and charity towards a good cause, then this will only decrease, this will only increase the amount of money that they have, and it will increase their wealth, and it will increase their barakah and the blessings that they have in their life, be it their family, be it their community, be it their stability, and so on. Now, we are now obviously approaching the month of Ramadan, and the month of Ramadan is a blessed month in which we are all hoping to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the greatest acts to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during the month of Ramadan is paying sadaqah, paying charity for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order to not only draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but in order to establish the masjid that we once had. And it's not something which is impossible, that Allah Jalla wa Ala within a short period of time gives us the funds to build this masjid, so that it can go back to, as I mentioned earlier on, so that it can go back to and take the role that it once had, and the position and the lofty status that it once had within our community. So we need to strive as a community, young, old, male, female, every one of us has a role to play in building this masjid, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and give us the ability to bring our masjid back, and hopefully inshallah we'll be praying in here within the next few Ramadans. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us, and also we ask everyone's dua. because dua is also a form of ibadah that will help us in establishing this masjid بإذن الله تعالى. والله تعالى أعلم وأحكم وبالله توفيق. بارك الله فيكم. الله يحفظكم. جزاكم الله خير.
Start.
Do I hold anything? Or?
Only like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Start.
Good afternoon, my name's Martin Hart. I'm Project Manager for Bumpers Trust, undertaking the construction works at the new mosque at 91 Marlin Road. Just to give you a little bit of background, I started getting involved in the project back in January, and since then we've now completed the demolition and we're well on drilling the core holes for the piling, which the rig will be delivered next Saturday the 12th of April. The piling will approximately take 2 weeks. At the moment we have got the steelwork being designed, and this will be delivered at the end of April, and we're hoping to have the steel frame, the construction up by the end of May. We're well on the way. Hopefully by the end of October we'll have the total envelope floors, everything will be completed. The most complicated part of the project is the facade, which we're now designing, but I'm keen and I'm looking forward to the end product. It's going to look an amazing building and a good thing for the Whitechapel community, for the Muslim community to share with their people, and it's a pleasure and an honour to work for you guys, and I hope it all goes well.